What's up, guys? Welcome back to Alex Lawn Adventures. Today we got some boxes that showed up in the mail. So we're gonna open these, but first, spring is right around the corner, so we want to prepare for the 2022 lawn season. And so in these boxes there's something to do with the lawn season. So let's open these up. So our first box here, we have what's called Stress Blend. It's a 7020 mix. This is from Yard Mastery. I buy this stuff online. It is good for a DIYer or a homeowner. They have an app that goes, not necessarily with this product, but there's an app called Yard Mastery, and you can keep track of all your different stuff that you put down throughout the year. I like to keep everything in a binder and write everything down on each application and what I put down and everything. But you can also do it off their app. They do also have soil testing kits, and I have purchased their soil testing kit last year, and I may purchase it again this year. So now it's important to get your stuff early. This stuff will last me a few months. I also do my neighbor's yard. She's 96 years old, and so I have been mowing it, but the last few years I've been just getting cheap weed and feed that I actually got on sale from Walmart at the end of the year. I got a bag of weed and feed for like $4, so I'm gonna do her yard this spring with that. Then I also have a lawn that I do like 2 blocks down the road, and I spray her yard and put fertilizer on it, so this will also be used for her lawn also. So this is a Flagship 2406. Now this has 3% iron, so this has got some good iron in it. Iron helps green up your lawn and fast. It's good. They also have, I don't know if you can see it very well, but the spreader settings, they have them on here so that way you know what to set your spreader to. And you want to make sure that you have calculated and you have done everything with your spreader so that way you know how much it actually puts out. But this is just a quick reference to that. So this is called Flagship. And then this one should be prodiamine. So prodiamine, if you don't know, is a pre-emergent. A pre-emergent goes on in the early spring when your soil temperatures get to 55 to 60 degrees. Now this one you're going to do in 2 applications. You're going to do in about a month apart-ish. So what I've done is, I don't put pre-emergent down on my lawn. My lawn is clean enough. It don't have many weeds in it. Look, you even get some stickers. Stickers and a little thank you. That's nice. But this will be for the lawn that I do a couple blocks down the road. And this will just help with crabgrass mainly. But this is good for a spring pre-emergent. You can get also Di-Fi-Up here. It works also. I just have used prodiamine, so that's what I've used. You can see it says fertilizer plus herbicide. So this will work good. It's a 007 mix. So it's got some potash in it, which is good. That's really helps the grass grow when it's stressed and whatnot. But yeah, if you guys haven't thought about getting your fertilizers and your chemicals and stuff, I know it's still early here in southern Iowa, and down south you guys are about ready to be mowing and stuff, but here in southern Iowa we still have about at least a good month, if not a month and a half, before we can do anything. But you always want to be prepared. With fertilizer prices going up, it might be hard to find fertilizers. Now, I'm sure big box stores, you can find fertilizers. I'll go grab the weed and feed and I'll show you what that looks like. So this is a bag of weed and feed. You can pick this up at any box store. It's just the Expert Gardener brand. There's nothing fancy about it. It's a 2803, so it's got some fertilizer in it. Covers up to 5,000 square feet. So if you want to know how big your yard is, there's one way to do it, and I'll show you here. You get your piece of paper and you draw a map of your lawn, and then you calculate it. You take a great big tape measure and you calculate it, and that will show you how big your lawn is. So that way you know how much chemical to put down, you know how much fertilizer to put down. Here later this spring, we'll maybe go out and measure my front yard and map it, and that way I can show you guys how to do this. But my yard is 7,200 feet, so about a bag and a half of this would work. So these bags down here, these Yard Mastery ones, those cover 15,000 square feet. Why that's nice for me is that is almost half of what my yard should take. So I have what's called an airport luggage bag scale. You take this, and you can wrap this, and it will weigh it. So I'll dump that fertilizer in a bucket, and those are, I believe, 55-pound bags. I'll have to look for sure, but I think they're 55-pound bags. So you just take half of 55, you put it in a bucket, you measure out, you weigh out what the bucket weighs, and then you put the fertilizer in, and you calculate half of it, and that's how much you know that you need to put down exactly on your lawn. If your fertilizer spreader may be not calculated or calibrated correctly, completely. So that's a good way to get an accurate amount of fertilizer down on your lawn. And by having this book, you can have, you know, everything that you do. And then I even keep, so last year's soil test I put in here, stapled in here. And it's got all the levels of everything on how I was with my soil test. So keeping a book like this is pretty handy. Now this is a book on my neighbor down the road that I do, 2 blocks down the road. I mapped out her lawn, and I kept track over the course of the year what I put down on her lawn. That helps me know when the next fertilizing time is. And you know, if I want to reference back to, you know, go back to 2020, I can see in 2020 my first spray with T-Zone was put down May 9th of 2020. So I can go back and look and see, which is really helpful to reference to this year. Say this May I'm going to need to make sure I have my chemicals here, so that way I can spray or I can fertilize, you know, according to what I've done in the past, if it's worked or not. So it's always a good idea to write everything down, keep track of what you're doing. Another thing is people say, well, how do you know what the temperature of the soil is? Well, there is an app or an online website called Greencast, and you can go in and you can type your location in, and it will tell you your soil temperature and the average 24-hour soil temperature, the average week soil temperature, and what it currently is. And then if you want to get real technical and you want to know exactly what your lawn is, take a meat thermometer and jab a meat thermometer into the ground, and it will tell you what your soil temperature is. That's another good way to tell. So you don't want to start throwing these products down. Like right now it's 25 degrees outside. I don't want to be out there throwing this stuff down right now because it's not going to do any good. But when the soil temperature gets to 55, 60 degrees and we start warming up consistently every day, that's when I need to start paying attention to soil temperatures. And if you're going to put pre-emergent down, get that down in that time frame. Or your grass is going to start greening up, so you'll start knowing that, okay, my lawn may need some fertilizer now. Now in the spring, you're going to get lots of growth and lots of rain, and so that's going to make your grass grow. So you might want to hold back on your fertilizer and maybe not put as much, because your grass is going to be growing so vigorously off the start at springtime. But come into summer, you may want to give it a little push, but not too much, because when it gets warm, you don't want to kill your yard because in the summer we don't get a lot of water. So maybe the early part of June you could fertilize a little bit. I always try to stay right around the holidays. So do like a Memorial Day throwdown, a 4th of July throwdown, and then a Labor Day you put down application. And that covers about a 5 to 6 week window. And so that will give you enough time for that fertilizer to soak in to the ground and get used up. And that's also in the recommended time of when you're supposed to put fertilizer down. So guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and subscribe. We're going to have some more content coming up this spring. Hopefully this weather turns nicer. It's still pretty cold. We're going to get a snowstorm today, so hopefully we can get out in the lawn soon. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.